Good evening, friends. This is actually the second time I record this video. The first time my microphone was screwed up. Good evening, friends. Today we react on an episode of Shawn Ryan Show. God damn you, butt mic. So, I saw a video from Shawn Ryan. I saw not the whole video, just a little bit, and I thought I'd do a reaction on it because I think it's kind of like a topic that is in my range because it's about the vulnerability of Europe. And yeah, I want to react on this. I want to see what's going on. And I will cut out that specific piece because this video is super long. Let's get right into it.
Jane Doe, welcome to the Shawn Ryan Show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
How many have infiltrated Europe?
I think it's more than 1,000. It's easier. You know, they come as refugees and they just simply get in, you know.
Since 2015, under the Angela Merkel government from the CDU, they invited practically everyone in. Everyone can come. Everyone gets everything for free. They throw away the passports. They claim to be young, but they're obviously older people. Like, I saw a picture of a guy who looks like he was in his mid-30s. He claimed to be 16 and things like that. It's weird.
So they walk through, and I think countries have this the United States has its database, right? Big part of it is coming from Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had all the names, the backgrounds. Europe doesn't have this big database. If they are sharing between Europe or the United States, I don't know that. But I know it was one guy.
So let me pause here and talk about the collaboration between Germany and the U.S. So we had a case in Magdeburg. It was quite similar. I made a video on this to what happened in New Orleans. And the American government, they called Germany, the German government, to take notice of this guy who killed a lot of people in Magdeburg in Germany on a Christmas market by driving a vehicle into a crowd of people. But the German government didn't react at all. They didn't react. So, there you go.
Who reached Greece in 2019 as an Afghan refugee. And it was a case study. No one questioned why he ran away from Afghanistan in 2019, when we still had the government. But he was a refugee. And it was taken by a European country. And after a few months, he just grabbed a knife and killed 2 women. And the narrative was, I believe it's a narrative, is that he had mental problems.
So let me jump in here again. So we see this in Germany since 2017-ish, in that kind of range, where all these knife crimes in Germany started big time. To this day, every day in the news, when I look at my phone, if it's Facebook, Instagram, X, the regular media in Germany, every day we have knife crimes, killings, rapes, gang rapes, murders, you name it, we have it every day, daily basis. But what I really don't get, and someone can explain this to me, but if you flee from terror to a safe place, why should you become terror in this safe place? I don't get it. And yeah, I don't understand it.
So, you know, it's this thinking 2019, why did he need to run away from Afghanistan? Why was he a refugee? No one is asking. Was taking there to that European country and killed two women.
Why are they formulating these narratives? Why don't they just call it for what it is? Is it to try to contain mass hysteria or try to contain fear?
Fear. Fear. To feed a narrative like mentally ill. They don't have to speak out on the real problems, is that those people came from regions where terrorism is everywhere. So they have to create a certain kind of narrative to calm down the people. Because if you would say, yeah, we have some kind of like terrorist walking on the streets with a knife and killing people, you would ask, why do we don't close the border now? So why they keep coming in if we have these problems? And when they form a narrative like these are mentally ill people, you have to they want to trigger a feeling inside of you that you are sorry for this person because they went through a lot of bad things. And then you think, oh, maybe this killer had some kind of PTSD, and maybe that's the reason why he stabbed people who has nothing to do with his wars or what he's seen or to gruesome things he have lived through. No, he walking around stabbing civilians like, yeah, and you have to accept it, and they brush it down with a narrative like they're mental ill. And when you ask the question why, and I come to this now again, why is someone fleeing from terror who's seen death, blood, and desperation to bring death, blood, and desperation on innocent people? I don't know. I don't get it. So many refugees, migrants come to Germany, got free insurance, free food, free apartment, free everything, and then going out killing people. I don't get it.
Throughout the population? Or is it they don't want to bring light on terrorist organizations or
Exactly. They want to name the thing. They don't want to name the thing. Terrorism. And with opening the borders in Germany since 2015, so we have, I really don't want to know the exact numbers, but I really think we have a lot of sleeper cells in Germany who are really waiting to strike against, I don't know. I'm really into this, and I don't trust those people. Sorry, but this is what all this information made with me. I was in the military. I learned how these people work, and I can't trust them. I can't turn my back on such a person because I always think when I see such a person, and this is sad to say because it should not be this way, but it is that way, that I'm very careful when I go out. I'm very, very careful. And this is my advice to all the people to get some kind of awareness. Don't walk around staring on your phone with earbuds in your ear.
why are they coming up with these narratives?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm asking this almost every day. That I think it's sort of a protection also, that it's leave the people in the delusion that they are safe. You are safe. You are not questioning.
Yeah, and we are not safe in Germany. I got family and friends in America, and I always say the same thing. Why? Why are those terrorists not doing such crimes like in Germany in Texas? Why? Because they know. They know exactly that in Texas, everyone is armed. So if they would try to stab someone on the street, they get shot. They get shot. In Germany, our government say we don't have the right to bear arms. You have no right to defend yourself, practically. So the only thing that you can carry is kind of like an effective thing is a pepper spray. But the government making laws right now to forbid even pepper spray. So it's just like since 2015, they let the wolves among the sheep. And now they cover up every crime that happens with mental illness or some kind of PTSD. And you have to feel sorry. And in a news block, what goes 10 minutes, you have a 5-second segment when they speak about that, because it's quite enough, this 5 seconds. They can say they informed you, while the other 9.5 minutes or whatever is be talking about other things like gender studies and climate change and whatever. That's the main problem. They don't want to speak about it because if they would start speaking about it, the government, they would have to say that they made mistakes, and that would lead to the fact that they would lose the power, and if they lose their power, they would lose a lot of money. So the politicians being quiet, and the media say, "Oh, it's a one-time thing, no problem."
But also the other thing is, just think of it, if you just using this case study, that if you have an Afghan coming and killed 2 women, you start to question what's going on in Afghanistan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you start to question it, you get answers. When you have answers, you have to do something. No one wants to do anything.
And Germany is slowly waking up. Germany is really slowly waking up. 2015, the German people, me included, we say, okay, we have to help the people. We have to help these normal people getting out of a combat zone, give them water, food, a roof over their heads. Sure, we have to help them. But then, over the years, we see that all that we get from helping those people is blood and more blood. So I have to say this at this point because I made videos about this topic, and some people call me up and say, "Hey, are you kind of like a racist or whatever?" No, I'm not. I grew up with a lot of non-white people, and I grew up with a lot of migrants. Back in my days, it was kind of like very different from nowadays. But all I say are observations that I do on daily basis on the internet, regular news, TV shows, and talk shows, and what's going on in the country. And this is my observation that since 2015 we have a really big problem in Germany, and since 2017 the crime rates rises every year more and more and more, and we don't talk about things like I'm stealing a lollipop in some store. No. And we have to deal with this on a daily basis, and it's kind of horrible. And the German people more and more kind of like waking up. They waking up, and of course the media, the mainstream media and the government label those people who coming up with these things and are speaking about what's going on. They always come with a racist stamp or the Nazi stamp or whatever. But the people are not impressed with these stamps anymore, because everyone practically is a racist or a Nazi when you speak about true facts, you know? It's just like with the climate change and things like that. So the people have to understand that what's going on in Germany, we never seen this before. And all this happens since we have an open border policy. And these things are related. The massive crimes, the horrible, horrific crimes are related with the open border policy. And everyone sees it. Many people deny it. Many people open their eyes to the fact what's going on and having eyes on their surroundings. And yeah.
Related to Afghanistan, no one.
So it's basically to
to
save
move
their own
on.
power.
Yeah,
They don't want to talk about it
True.
because they don't want to be removed or elected out or
Absolutely
removed
true.
from power.
Yeah.
So they want everybody to know, hey, it's safe. This is
Yeah.
just a one-off. This is a spin-off.
Yeah.
This is nothing to be worried about. It's just
They say that actually. They say that on TV. It's just like a spin-off. Someone felt the urge to do something horrific because of he was motivated or something like that in some kind of radical way. But it's always a one-timer. It's nothing constant. But we see it. It's constant. We see it every day. Every day in the news, you see it every freaking day.
a coincidence as this happened. They don't want the fear to come. They don't want to reveal the truth of what's going on because if they did, they would show how incompetent they actually are in office.
And yeah, and it's
True.
also having successful for years because it's what I can see. It's all about, I mean, related to Al Qaeda and Afghanistan. So it's what's going on in there. It's all about short-term political agenda and not about long-term solutions.
And this is exactly what I say when it comes down to the refugees welcome movement or the open border policy. So the German government opened the borders 2015. In 2020, they all seen that this open border thing leads to hell. The crime rates are there. The statistics are there. The reports are there. That would be the point to close the border, sort things up, and do it correctly. But the German government, we have till this day an open border policy because the government in Germany don't care. They simply don't care about their own citizens. They simply not care. It's just like a short notice in a news outlet. Oh, somebody got killed again. Yeah, get used to it. Get used to it because it happens every day. In some shape or form, the people will get used to it. This is how the government thinks. Because a real government would have closed the borders practically 6 years ago. But nothing happens.
So it's something like this. This is what I can see, I mean, related to Afghanistan as a narrative. Move on.
Yeah,
there is
move
nothing
on.
to see here.
So-
And these mental issues, that's the main narrative now in Europe.
True. It seems like that everyone who committed a horrible crime is mentally ill. So I really think, sometimes I think, did we imported only mentally ill persons? Because every time when some crimes showing up in news, it's every time with mental illness. So this guy who drove with a vehicle in a crowd on a Christmas market in Magdeburg, they say he was mentally ill. Months earlier, some person stepped another person to death. Oh, he was mentally ill. Previous to that, couple other people, migrants, stepped people to death. Oh, they were mentally ill. I don't get it. So that was interesting. And the whole thing with mentally ill and all that kind of stuff, it creeps me out because we live in a country where you're not allowed to carry some kind of weapon to defend yourself. If someone's trying to stab you with a knife, I saw some advice videos when the police get an advice to say stop. Yeah. Or halt. Like the dude who's want to kill you would actually stop. It's laughable. So, and So, tell me what you think. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I don't see the whole spectrum of it? What do you think about the topics? And leave a like. Write it down in the comment section down below. Yeah, see you next time. Goodbye.